that's cool. So this actually has 3 different materials in it. All right, guys, let's get into it. I like to start from the outside, work my way in. It seems more rational to me. So right off the bat, let's see what the outside textures and finishes are like. So that is a rubbery compound with some nice stippling on it that does feel very grippy. And then this feels like, yeah, so all this is the same material, and it's a fairly hard rubbery feel. And then so metal, elastomer, metal, hard plastic, elastomer slash soft plastic. Hard plastic, elastomer, hard rubber. So that's the textures. Finishes are very nice. Really like this matte finish. It's very very modern looking. This you can tell it looks painted. Doesn't It looks like painted metal, so it doesn't look too great. I can feel a little bit of grittiness in there, but nothing too bad, especially for the price point. So nice little clip right there for clipping it on things that are meant for clipping. So nice little features right there, so you don't have to have a screw so close right here to hold these pieces together. Come on, camera, you stupid son of a... There we go. So that's very similar to rigid design that I've taken apart before. Keeps those halves of the plastic nice and tight together. So the ergonomics of it are very nice. I really do. It fits like a Smith & Wesson, which everybody's hand is different, but Smith & Wessons fit my hand the best for some reason. So, all right, so let's start taking it apart. Let's see. Got what looks to be a rubber piece here, and that is correcto. Let's see. Does it say anything in there? Nope. Can't see anything. Let's see if that makes any difference. No, just probably a thermoplastic elastomer, which means that it can be injection molded in the same machines that this hard plastic is produced in. It's just a different soft, flexible, rubbery-like material. Fancy name for non-fancy product. And that's looks like some nice machining going on in there. All right, let's get into it. All right, so have a machined, what feels like aluminum housing here. Very, very nice machining marks. And then probably painted first and then machined away, so they don't have to mask the paint. And your typical impact hammer dog or clutch dog or whatever it's called there, that the mass weight impacts with the spring behind it. So fairly typical construction of a lower end impact driver. Not sure why this four screw configuration like this is common on the lower end units, but it is, and that's what it is, because it is. Missed one. Okay, so we have one half of the main injection molded housing. This is made using a two-part injection molding process called bi-injection molding, where they first injection mold the hard plastic. That's everything you see that's gray, and then actually this might be a tri-part. Oh, that's cool. So this actually has 3 different materials in it. 2 are hard plastic, but 2 different colors to get a nice color contrast going, and then the other one is a soft rubber grip, for comfort of the user. But that is the first one that I've seen that is appears to be a triple injection process. Yeah, so you can see where the materials come together there, and I believe, yeah, that's I'm not positive on that, but that's what it appears to be. It doesn't look like that red material is installed onto this after the fact. It looks like it's pretty intimately, yeah, there's undercuts. Yeah, you see the gray material. See, the gray material is right there in the middle. And wow, I did not expect to see a manufacturing process that kind of pushes the boundaries on such a low-end product, but that's pretty cool. So this is effectively tri-injection molded, which is they take a mold and they have slides pushed into the areas where you see the red and the black first, and then they inject the gray, and then they wait a couple seconds, let it solidify a little bit, and then they move a slide out that opens up the cavities the shape of the red. Then they inject red in, and then they move slides away that were taking up the space of the black, and then they inject black. So basically you get one part with 3 different material properties, or in this case 2 with 2 aesthetic property differences but the same mechanical properties, and then 1 with different mechanical properties than the other 2 out of one process, which means there's a lot of value added in this part, and it probably takes less than a minute to produce it. Maybe not including putting the sticker on, but that's probably something the operator can do while they're waiting for the next one to come out of the mold. That minute they put that sticker on, so that's not even wasted time. So everything you see here is probably produced in less than a minute. That is the beauty of modern manufacturing processes. So let's see, this should probably be pretty run-of-the-mill. Yeah, PA6, or PA6, which stands for polyamide, which is just another name for nylon, glass filled, 30% GF30, and then TPE, thermoplastic elastomer, which is that's just the generic name, so they're not telling us the specific chemistry there. And of course, this is a date or cycle counter for the tools that the little arrow changes depending on when and or how many cycles the tool has gone through. So you can see the dove cavities that the rubber fills up in order to help with adhesion of the rubber material to the plastic material. There is some chemical bonding that goes on that you can actually see. It doesn't want to peel away from there. It will if you oh yeah, can you see? It's like there was glue, like it was slightly glued. So this is one of the lesser chemical bonded ones that I've seen. Normally when you push away from when you do that, the rubber really does have a better chemical bond on all the other tools that I've taken apart. So this one does not have a very good chemical bond between the hard plastic substrate and the thermoplastic elastomer. So that probably indicates that this grip is going to start peeling apart, probably right there where it gets the most amount of wear and usage. But it does have that's why they have mechanical bonding here. The dovetail will help, but I'm guessing this grip is going to fall off prematurely compared to other brands. So there could be many reasons for that. It could be they didn't pick the elastomer chemistry as well as they should have to imitate the chemistry of the base part. That's one way to get a nice chemical bond where the two materials come together, is to make them similar chemistries. And you can do that. You can basically elastomerize nylon or something chemically similar to nylon, and then it encourages a chemical bond there. Also, in order to decrease the cycle time, they could be shooting this into a very cold mold, which has this hard plastic cool down really quickly. And then by the time the plastic elastomer is shot over the hard plastic gray material, the gray material is too cold for there to be any chemical mingling of the molecules where they come together. So and they also maybe could be shooting that too cold, although that it probably has to be a certain temperature, or definitely has to be a certain temperature just to become liquid enough to shoot. So it's probably, if it's a temperature issue, it's going to be this material, the base material, they let it cool down too much before they inject the elastomer over the top of it. So, but again, that's could be from in the material selection or in the manufacturing operator error. Just the manufacturer doesn't know, or doesn't care about how to get a good bond. So a lot of ways that things can go wrong. But again, it looks good now, but it might not after a while. But so the industrial design here is actually pretty good. That on the cheaper brands, you'll see no attempt to add in any more ribs or stiffening features. They'll just kind of core out what they need to core out, put the features that interact with the other parts in the subassembly, and then just leave it at that. But they actually went to some effort to stiffen it up and use more material where they could. So that's a good sign of at least the virtual design, not the execution. But execution's not looking too good because of that. But virtual and conceptual design not looking too bad. Let's see. All right. And they actually have an O-ring. That's interesting. That's the first one I've seen that has an O-ring right there. Which obviously that O-ring isn't doing any waterproofing that I can think of. It might be helping keep grease in here and away from the motor, because grease attracts dirt and contaminants and stuff. But it's probably also for isolating, giving a little bit of noise and vibration isolation from this mechanism, which is what's producing the abrupt impact that the user would feel coming up through the handle. So putting a piece of rubber in between this mechanism and the mechanism or the part that the user is going to feel the vibration, coming into. So could be a dual purpose kind of thing. It is on the small side, but again, it doesn't take much rubber to isolate certain frequencies, especially high frequencies are pretty easy to isolate with not a lot of material. There's that for your viewing pleasure, and pretty minimalist electronic mechanism. I don't see a circuit board in here. That's probably one of the ways that they've made this the cheapest impact on the internet and on the market, is just not having a circuit board on the driver's side. I'm sure there's a circuit board in here. Any lithium battery, this does say lithium ion, every lithium battery has to come with a circuit board for controlling its output and charging to keep it safe, because it will run away if not controlled with software. So let's see, is there I might take that apart too, but all right. Yeah, this is about the simplest one. It does have a light, which is again pretty awesome for the price point. Let's see, is this right here? That looks like that is definitely an injection molded piece. Again, nylon 6, 30%, same material. And those contacts look to have been over molded in there, although they could have been pressed in after the fact. But I would suspect that there's features under there that undercut, that prevent it from coming through. Let's see if I can push it. Ooh, and I'm pushing pretty hard on that, so, and it's not coming through. So I think there's features up under there that have been these have been installed into the tool, and the plastic flowed around it so as to retain them. So yeah, nice bright red trigger. It's probably good for a couple of horsepowers right there. And let's see that gear. That's that's about the size gear that I would expect. Again, size doesn't even mean everything. That could be a very over-engineered gear, depending on the amount of reduction in this part. And actually, this does look like it is the smallest reduction that I've ever seen, at least in terms of diameter. So let's get that off of there. It was so greasy. So greasy. Yeah, that is definitely and it only has 2 gears instead of the normal 3. So that's one cost saving place right there, is it just has a gear 180, 180 degrees opposite from each other. And so this reduction is probably less of a reduction than your typical 12 volt. And so therefore the gears don't need to have as big a diameter, don't need to have as much thickness of material. So again, that size gear could be way overkill, and probably is. So it doesn't mean it's under engineered, it just means it's designed to produce less power. Max torque 880 inch-pounds, which I'll have to divide that by 12, and that's like, I think that's and post it on the screen. But that is not a lot compared to a lot of other brands out there. So even 12 volts. So that's why that drivetrain can be as small as it is because it doesn't need to be. It doesn't have that much stress on it. Just to give some data, Let's see, that's not going to be perfect because it is looks to be an odd number diameter, but I'll give you kind of a roundabout, a little over 1/4 of an inch in max OD, and then OD of the planetary gears is like that, and then there's the ring gear. Of course, let's see, something like that. All right, guys, thank you for sticking around till the end. A couple of points to wrap up with while you watch me put it back together. First of all, the price point. I got it from AliExpress. Shipping included was just over $31, and that makes it the cheapest 12-volt impact on the internet with battery and charger and all the, out the box ready to go. Makes it the cheapest, which I thought was pretty amazing considering the quality. So on to my overall thoughts on the quality. It looks very similar to what we're used to seeing from much more expensive brands. The tri-injection molding was even more impressive, but then there was the adhesion of the rubber and the hard plastic. That's probably going to be an issue in the future. So for the money, I don't think you can go wrong, but only time will tell. I'm just a engineer. We don't know anything. People using stuff in the real world are the people who know things. So take this info with a grain of salt that it deserves. So, all right. Well, enjoy the rest of the compilation, putting it back together, and I hope to see you guys next time.